soon. Are you prepared for hosting? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate graduations and the close to a great school year. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you consider throwing a party without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No graduation party is complete without it.
Western Sand and Gravel is hiring for a variety of positions at their sand and gravel plants near Ashland. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Available positions include plant operators, dredge operators, and shop service technicians. They offer great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, paid holidays, and paid time off. No matter your experience level, on-the-job training is available to help you build a rewarding career with Western Sand and Gravel. Start your career today. Visit westernsand.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Breathe easier inside your home with Bryant. Eliminate allergens and odors and control humidity too. For a breath of fresh air, call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at koppelcars.com. Stock numbers G121492. G187747 and G196599.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everidge. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back to 2 hours a day. You're stuck with me. And so is Jackson until Jake comes back.
There we go.
How you doing, Jackson?
I'm doing great. How are you, Adam?
Life is fun.
There we go.
It's been a fun morning. I was complaining and whining and moaning to you right before we went on air. But you know what? It's funny. As soon as, like, we're all humans. We all have good days, bad days, everything in between. Nothing wrong with that. It's funny, though. As soon as that glass shatters, the entrance music hits. It's just like when I was growing up watching Stone Cold. Like, I'd have Nitro on one TV and Raw on the other TV and Hollywood Hogan, and the glass would shatter. And everything just kind of fades away, and you get into the mode of doing a show, talking sports, talking Husker sports, sports in general, college football, and you have a whole lot of fun. It's funny because most days I walk in here and, life's pretty good. Some days you walk in here and you're a human being. But as soon as that mic hits and you start chatting, I'll walk out of here 2 hours later and I'm in a great mood. It's funny how that works.
It is very true. Yeah, you get in here and just kind of gets the juices flowing. Wakes me up a little bit, even though it's, 11 a.m., but always wakes me up a little bit.
Dude, that's so funny. I'm not a morning person. I am not a morning. My wife can get up at 5 and operate all day. My mother-in-law, she was a nurse and lived out of town. She'd have to get up at 3 to be in surgery by 5 a lot of times. It's nothing. I'm not a morning person, dude. So there's a lot of times where I'm not joking. And honestly, 19 times out of 20, 95% of the time, I'm just like, let's light this candle. Every once in a while, the human being comes out and I'm like, oh man, I'm just not awake. By the time we're rolling and the show's done, dude, it's like you never work a day in your life if you love what you're doing, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
How was your weekend?
It was great. Good Memorial Day weekend. Obviously, there's a lot going on in Husker sports, so that definitely made it more of a interesting and fun weekend. We kind of saw both sides of the spectrum, but we'll talk about that, I presume, for this.
We will.
2 hours, so yeah.
I'm proud of all the teams. Obviously, baseball goes on this run. So there are people who will text me things. And as baseball season was unfolding, I'm talking February, March, April, May, all the way up to last weekend. They'll text me things. And, when it came to baseball, there was a lot of, how do I put this, frustration. I'm like, I get it. I guarantee those players are frustrated. Coach Bolt's frustrated. They're not happy with how things are going. And I've said it live on air. But it's there. It's there. Yes, you lose Mason McConaughey, your top pitcher. Everybody deals with injuries, though. Next man up mentality. It's not just football. It's baseball. It's just about any sport. Unless it's a solo sport, then there is no next man up because it's just you. But if it's a team sports, next man up mentality. And I'm like, I'm not predicting that they're going to go on some massive run and win the Big Ten Tournament Championship. I'm just saying it's there. The talent is there that won them the championship last year. The experience is largely back. The coaching is there. And when you get in a tournament style of a scenario, which the Big Ten tournament is in baseball and basketball and a lot of sports, all you got to do is get in, and you never know what can happen. It's the same thing with playoffs in the NFL for years. I watched 2 9-7 New York Giant teams beat 2 New England Patriots teams who I honestly thought the Patriots were better, but it didn't matter because they weren't better on that day. They had significantly better records, and they beat them twice for the Super Bowl. And those Giant teams are Super Bowl champions. The Patriots won plenty of titles, just not in those particular years. Get in. That's all that has to happen. Once you're in, you never know what can happen. I've sat in a gazillion NFL meetings, and now you can start to say the same thing about college football. You couldn't say it at the time because you had to, each and every Saturday was basically a playoff. It's a little bit less that way. Not me whining about the playoff. I'll save that for a later date. By the way, some interesting reactions to the current CFP changes for just this upcoming year. So we'll chat about that a little bit as well. Some people are not happy about the direction of things. Some people are not happy about the changes to this year. Some people are, just for this 1 year, and then things are going to drastically change in 2 years. But we will dive into that and light that candle just a little bit. All right, here in just a little bit, I should say.
But like, I'll never forget Mike Shanahan, his first year there with the Redskins. I'm sitting in the meeting room, my first year as well. He flat out says, I don't care about the regular season. I'm sitting there like, that's a lot of time and games not to care about. And he goes, let me explain. All we have to do is get in the postseason. And at the time, it was 6 playoff teams in the AFC, 6 in the NFC. Now it's 7-7. He goes, just get in. He goes, home field is nice. The bye is nice. Just get in. And that second season is all that matters. Once you're in, you never know what can happen. It's a completely different scenario. And you saw that with Big Ten baseball. You saw that with the Nebraska baseball team. Like, did I ever sit here and say they're going to win it again? No, I did not. But did I repeatedly say it's there? The talent is back. The experience is back. Yes, they have injuries. The coaching is back. Once you get in, you never know what can happen. They have now won 9 straight Big Ten tournament games. As we know, back-to-back Big Ten tournament championships. They finished the year 5-0 heading into the NCAA tournament now. They won 5 straight weekend series to end the regular season after losing 4 of their first 5 weekend series to start the season. So it's always there. You never know what can happen. I've got more thoughts on this, but Jackson, what are your thoughts right out the gate here?
Oh, man, it was so much fun to watch. I mean, I would argue to say they probably had the toughest matchups to get there, to get all the way through the championship. I mean, they're the lowest seed ever to win it at 8. It was incredible to watch. 9 straight tournament wins now, like you said, back-to-back tournament champions. And now you head into the postseason where you're igniting an old rivalry within your old Big 12 days with Oklahoma. So it'd be dumb to say I'm not super excited right now to be a Husker baseball fan and a Husker fan in general. So, yeah.
They're a hot team. They're not a team that other teams are going to look at and be like, oh, look at that win-loss record. That's really impressive. Or, wow, this team has just steamrolled everybody. No, they're not going to do that. What they're going to say is that's a hot team. Mm-hmm. I'd rather not play them.
Yeah.
You don't want to play a hot team. So, like, Oklahoma is a good football team, a good baseball team. All right. And let me look up this stat I've got here. Because they have kind of cooled off a little bit here. Oklahoma played 30 home games. By George, that's a lot of home games. Accounting for 20 of their wins. And again, they're a good baseball team. They're probably going to be favored to beat us. I don't know what the odds makers have said, but they're probably favored to beat us. 23 of their wins came in the first half of the season. They have cooled off a little bit. So they are the higher seed. They have more wins, less losses. They should be favored, probably will be favored. But one team's cooling off and one team seems to be red hot. And to your point, beat the number 1 seed Oregon. Beat the number 2 seed UCLA Bruins. Did you know that was UCLA baseball's first ever conference championship game?
Really?
I did not know that.
I definitely would have figured they got some in Pac-12.
So I'm sitting there after the Big Ten championship game is over, and I've got the TV muted, and they're talking about baseball, talking about softball, whatnot. My kids are like all over the place doing stuff. Love you, but they finally leave the room, so I could turn the TV back on, and instantly the first line the analyst said was this was UCLA's first ever conference championship game for their baseball program. And I thought that was amazing. I would not have guessed that.
Dang.
So let's see here. Let's go through a few other things you mentioned. Lowest seed to ever win it. The first 8 seed to ever win the Big Ten tournament championship. All right. Husker Nation showed out over 15,000 people for the Big Ten championship game in Omaha. All right. We're going to go here. UCLA was not happy that the game was played in Omaha. I remember as a kid, justifiably so, being unhappy that Nebraska had to play all these Florida schools in the Orange Bowl, specifically Miami, but Florida State as well. When we played Florida, it was in the Fiesta Bowl in Arizona, on Miami's home field in the Orange Bowl. Not only was it the home field, it was the weather, it was the humidity, it was the heat in January when we're here in wonderful 5-degree weather and snow, and then you got to go play there. Justifiably so. That's why when Miami came here, what was it, 2014? That one of the reasons it was such a big deal.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And the stadium was nuts. I think of Miami. I think of the Colorado game this past week. Travis Hunter even talked about, wow, that's the most insane atmosphere he's ever been in before. All right. Got to look at both sides of the coin. Does UCLA have a justifiable complaint here that they had to play Nebraska and Omaha?
This has been a tough one for me. I was honest when I was watching the baseball this week. I was talking back and forth with my dad about it. I was like, this is just interesting. We won back-to-back tournaments now. And I had the thought in my head. I was like, how do other teams feel that they have to come to Omaha, Nebraska to play Nebraska, who hasn't lost a tournament game very long time, in Omaha? It's like a home game. I talked about this with DP on Saturday, I believe. We said it was probably a 1-run lead, 1.5-run lead just going into the game based off of the atmosphere that was going to be in that championship
Probably
game.
at least, honestly.
At least
we won 5-0, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like whatever. It was still an advantage heading into the game.
Yep.
So I don't know. I feel like it's hard to see as a Husker fan because I'm like, oh, we won. Great. But like if I was a UCLA fan, I won't lie, I'd probably be a little bit upset that I had to come out to Nebraska. But it also is the point, where else are they going to play the Big Ten tournament?
So my answer to the question is, does UCLA have a legit complaint? Yes. My response is also, I don't care.
Yeah, that's kind of, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
Like I just diatribed. We had to go down to Miami for years and years and years and play national championship games on their home field, in their home state, if it was Florida State. This isn't the only time this has ever happened. Like, wasn't it Kansas City and Tampa Bay? They played the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay on their home field. Tampa Bay wins.
The Rams did it again the next year.
It is what it is. It's a money-making machine as much as it is a sport. So it is if this was like the first time it ever happened and we never seen it before, my ears would be a little bit more open. I will readily admit it's an advantage for us. Like they say in football, depending on the home field advantage, but a typical home field advantage is probably 2 to 3 points. So in baseball, maybe it's 1 to 2. I'm also going to say I don't care because it happens. It's happened to us. This time it finally happened for us. It's kind of like all these times the ball just seems to bounce the wrong way in football. And then I'll leave his name out of it because, he's making his best effort. But the Michigan State outfielder who helped us out in the first game missed the fly ball. Hey, it finally went our way for once. These things have a way of coming around. And not to go off on football for a second. Normally I save that for hour 2, but maybe this is the year the ball bounces our way for a change. Because, man, if things are going to bounce out over time, it sure be nice if it started this year. And if it did bounce out and it did it this year, man, we'd have a lot of bounces coming our way because it's gone the other way too freaking often.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So when it comes to baseball, phenomenal run. They're definitely hot. Like, it's not just that they've won their last 5 games and 9 straight Big Ten tournament games. They've won 5 straight weekend series, to your point. Beat Oregon, the number 1 seed. I believe they were the number 3 team in the entire country. Beat UCLA, the number 2 seed. A top 10, top 15 team in the country. All right, so for me, this is the team that's just playing well, period. It goes beyond just being hot. They've beaten good teams. And when you win 5 straight weekend series, and then the Big Ten Tournament Championship, that's going back like 6-7 weeks. You're talking almost 2 months they've been playing good ball now. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like I said, Oklahoma is a good baseball team.
Oh, yeah.
Probably going to be favored. But if you look at the last half of their season, they have definitely cooled off while the Huskers are heating up. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in that regional. All right, let's see what else we got here. Shout out to Ty Horn, the sophomore, man. Dude. When Nebraska's ace pitcher, Mason McConaughey, went down, Ty Horn had to step. A lot of guys had to step. He was one of the guys that had to step up. Doesn't pitch his best early in the week. That happens sometimes. The other guys, they're hitting, they're practicing, they're lifting weights, they're getting better too. It's how you respond to those things. And boy, did he respond. All right, Ty Horn, here's the thing about UCLA. Their offense is really good. All right, Ty Horn blanked the UCLA offense that was on fire. And one of the 2 co-champs of the regular season in the Big Ten that was averaging 8 runs a game. All right. If you're not a baseball fan, that's a lot. Let's see. This is only the 3rd shutout ever in Big Ten championship game history. So Nebraska stepped up. They stepped up in a big way. I've got some final thoughts on this. There's some other things as well that were kind of thrown out baseball-wise, but you got any final thoughts before I kind of close the book on this and we move on going forward probably in the next segment?
I just keep the same energy. Keep the same. Let's keep the ball rolling. Let's just keep the winds flowing. Keep the pitching up. I was not expecting that to be like one of the big, great things about that tournament. Just keep everything up. Keep the same energy. And let's go beat Oklahoma because who doesn't like to beat Oklahoma, man? Come on.
I'm with you. Yeah, so to put a button on it, to bow on it, so to speak, sophomore Ty Horn pitched 8 scoreless innings to lead Nebraska to its back-to-back Big Ten tournament titles with a 5-0 win over number 13. All right, UCLA in front of 15,139 fans on Sunday afternoon at Charles Schwab Field in Omaha. With the win, Nebraska baseball clinched their 6th conference championship in program history and became the first 8 seed, as we mentioned before, in Big Ten history to capture the conference tournament title. Nebraska rolls into the postseason 32-27, scored 5 runs on 8 hits, while the Bruins 42-16, total just 4 hits on the afternoon as a whole. All right, let's see. UCLA also stranded 5 base runners between the 3rd and 7th innings to keep the Bruins off the board and send a 5-0 game into the 8th inning. All right, a couple other things here. It just kept popping up. These 2 things just kept popping up on my timeline. I've not posted about them. I've not talked about them anywhere else. We got like 3 minutes here. We'll bring it up because clearly it's piqued people's interest, and then we'll move on. Iowa baseball, which at one point I believe was first in the standings in Big Ten play at one point. Is that correct?
I think so.
I've seen screenshots
I
that
think I
people
know
have put
exactly
out.
where you're going with this.
Yeah, oh, I guarantee you know. All right. At one point in the season was first in the standings in Big Ten play. Now, they finished the season 2-10-1 in their last 13 games.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa baseball finished 33-22 and 21-9 in Big Ten play. Has officially been left out of the NCAA tournament for the 2nd consecutive year. And when you talk about playing tougher teams, if you look at Iowa's schedule, they didn't play the toughest teams in the non-conference. You look at our softball schedule, that's where we played a ton of ranked teams in the non-con for our softball team. And Nebraska baseball, I mean, they kicked the year right off with Vanderbilt. As we mentioned, they beat Oregon, UCLA in the Big Ten tournament. Iowa went 0-4 against Oregon and UCLA over 10 days, with the losses coming by a combined 38-13 margin. So it really wasn't even close. And so a lot of people were having fun because Nebraska or Iowa baseball at one point, some of the fans were like, oh, we're going to be the Big Ten champs. And clearly now they're not even in the tournament. Then Nebraska gets hot. They win the Big Ten tournament championship. They're Iowa. They're our good buddies. Ha, ha, cough, cough. So I got to poke them just a little bit. All right, I'll poke them a lot more if we beat them in football this year. Of course, the A&M thing gets brought up. Okay. But it's not just A&M. The number 1 and number 2 preseason teams coming into this baseball season, which were A&M and Virginia, both completely missed the 2025 postseason.
That's insane.
That's crazy to me. All right. Preseason number 1 Texas A&M misses the NCAA tournament, and they weren't even among the first 4 out. Okay, those teams were Southeastern Louisiana, Troy, UConn, and the aforementioned number 2 Virginia were the first 4 teams out when it came to the baseball.
Shout out Southeastern Louisiana, man. They got to put together on both sides, softball and baseball. Man.
Took down LSU and the Baton Rouge Regional in softball. We'll see what they do in the postseason in baseball. All right, Nebraska versus Oklahoma, Chapel Hill Regional. We are, let's see here, the number 3 seed. Oklahoma's number 2, North Carolina number 1, Holy Cross number 4 seed. Again, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Nebraska, Oklahoma is always fun in any sport. Football, basketball, baseball, whatever the sport may be, softball. I would have loved to have seen Jordy Ball in Nebraska play Oklahoma.
I was hoping for that so bad.
In softball. All right, Oregon plays Utah. Oregon versus Utah Valley. All right, in the Eugene Regional. UCLA versus Fresno State in Los Angeles. So those 2 are actually hosting regionals. All right, USC versus TCU in the Corvallis Regional as well. But Nebraska versus Oklahoma, again, we're the 3 seed. They're the 2 seed. We're going to take a quick break, and the Adam Carriker will roll on when we return.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild's Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through May 27th is $1 off hamburger and hot dog buns, $1 off Plum Creek chicken wings, 15% off barbecue sauces, and 15% off burgers, hot dogs, and brats. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town. Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at lincolnstars.com today before it sells out.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers throughout the day with patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, cloudy skies and the high near 62. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies, calm winds, a low around 50. And tomorrow, a chance of showers throughout the day. Otherwise, mainly cloudy with the high near 70. The meteorologist for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeyman electricians from $32.50 to $42.50 per hour with paid benefits. And if you're looking for a new career, they're hiring apprentices at $19.50 per hour with paid benefits. Call the office at 402-423-4497 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
The end of the school year is drawing near, which means graduation parties are coming soon. Are you prepared for hosting? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate graduations and the close to a great school year. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you consider throwing a party without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No graduation party is complete without it.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show. We are back on a regular schedule starting today. All right. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time. Grab your lunch. Come join us. What you're going to get, unique insight, unbridled honesty, and producer Jackson and I are going to have a whole lot of fun in the process. I guess Jake doesn't feel like coming to work or taking this thing called vacation, I guess, whatever. But no. Miss Jake, looking forward to him returning. In the meantime, Jackson and I are going to have a lot of fun in the process. What you're going to hear, Husker sports, college football, and sports in general. Now, you mentioned there's some things off the text line there, Jackson. What do we got, my friend?
Yeah, Bill and Bennett says, gotta love Adam's intro music.
I appreciate that.
Very
thank
true.
you. And shout out to DP, who went a little above and beyond to help get that for the show, so thank you.
We got Old Dad 34 says Nebraska's baseball team can make a long run if the pitching staff stays healthy. Couldn't agree more.
They keep pitching like they have recently. The bats. I remember sitting here in like February and literally like the bats are early on in the season. Pitchers are usually ahead of the hitters early on in the season, but the bats were like frozen. They have woken up. All right, Gabe Swanson specifically. But yeah, if they keep playing like they have, it's not about like. I hesitate because it's what college football is turning into, and I never liked it. Again, I'm going to whine and complain either later in the show or at another time. I still love college football. That's never going to change. It's just going to vary in what it looks like and what becomes important. But baseball has always been one of those sports. Yeah, you want to play well, but it's about getting hot at the right time.
Yeah.
And Nebraska baseball, they seem to be getting hot at the right time.
Yeah. Earthquake Glue says in regards to the
Earthquake Glue. I don't know why, but I love that
Earthquake
name.
Glue. You got to remember, I'm newer here. Please chime in again and tell me what the context of your name. I would love to know that. But Earthquake Glue says in regards to the advantage of Nebraska playing the Big Ten tournament in Omaha, says what's the difference when Purdue or Indiana play in the Big Ten basketball tournament in Indianapolis? That's a great point. I didn't even think about that. It's a great point.
No, it is a great point. Like I said, it happens. It happens at different sports, different levels. I mean, it is what it is, and it's part of the gig. You know, Purdue and Indiana, the Big Ten championship game for football is in Indianapolis. I know Purdue played in a couple of years ago. Didn't seem to affect the outcome of the game, but I'm just saying, like, these things happen. He makes a great point. We've seen it before. So, does UCLA have a reason to complain? Sure. Do I care? Not one bit.
Yeah. And Thunder Not Collins kind of adding to that said, if it were an unfair advantage, then Nebraska wouldn't have gone 19 years without a conference championship.
Feel like a backhanded compliment of sorts. I know where he's going with that. I get it. And Thunder Not Collins texts in all the time, so I appreciate that. Yeah. Thunder Not Collins. No, I mean it's part of sports. It just is. It is what it is, you know. So it's kind of like the Big Ten used to always play the Pac-10 champ out in, where was that place called? California, USC, UCLA. You know, the Sugar Bowl, always in Louisiana. You think that didn't help LSU the certain years they were there. Or if you were a northern team going to play the SEC champ, which used to always go to the Sugar Bowl in Louisiana. It's in the South. It's in the heart of the Southern region. Even last year, Ohio State, Texas in the Cotton Bowl. Now, Ohio State won the game.
Yeah.
But that's in Texas.
No, it's a clear-cut advantage. And One-Eyed Ray chimes in and says, do I have to give you the context of my name? One-Eyed Ray. One-Eyed Ray.
Hold on. Now it's One-Eyed Ray? I thought it was Earthquake Glue.
Well, no. This is just somebody.
Somebody else.
One-Eyed Ray says, do I have to give the context of my name too?
I feel like I could piece together the context of that name a little bit, but I obviously don't know details.
No,
One-Eyed Ray, if you so choose to do so, feel free to give us context. If not, it's completely your choice. You know.
No, yeah. I feel like I could put the puzzle pieces together.
I just like Earthquake Glue. It feels like a pro wrestler's name.
Yeah, I know. Earthquake Glue.
Is it glue or glue?
Coming to the ring.
Is it glue or gloom? What is it?
Glue.
Glue.
Like Elmer's glue.
It's like he destroyed the earth but held it together with glue after the earthquake. Is that what that means?
Great. I feel like Earthquake, that could be like a finishing move.
Yes. I like that. I just like how it sounds.
I could just imagine Michael Cole screaming that.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. So
I don't know if I've shared this before on this show, but I played with Thunder Collins. I had a strength coach in St. Louis named Rock Gullickson. And so I always wanted to like somehow incorporate Thunder or Rock into my son's name. It's nowhere to be found in his name, by the way. But like he was our oldest. So before we had him, we had this whole list of names. You know, boy names, girl names. We didn't know what we were having. So we had this whole list on either side. And I just wrote down Thunder at a certain point and Rock. I tried to like hide it in the list of names. And like she wouldn't eventually see it. And I knew I would never get Thunder Rock Carriker. Like that's what I really wanted. Rock Thunder Carriker doesn't really, Thunder Rock Carriker. That's what I really wanted. But I would have settled for either one. You know, whatever the first name was, which turned out to be Jacob, and then Jacob Thunder Carriker, Jacob Rock Carriker, just something. It didn't quite turn out that way. His middle name is actually Ryder. Actually is my favorite boy's name.
that is a good name.
I just always thought Thunder and Rock were like great names for a boy, but I never did quite get my way on it.
Thunder and Rock. I could see it. I don't think I've ever met a Thunder or a Rock or a Thunder Rock, I guess.
When we were going through the names, she discovered them very quickly. I did not hide them well, and they were crossed off the list very quickly, shall we say. All right, a couple other things here. There's only one school, and this is per Ben Stevens on Twitter, on X. I'm getting better at saying X. All right, Ben Stevens. Only one school in D1 history has made a bowl game. The baseball, softball, and women's basketball NCAA tournament, and won a postseason men's basketball tournament in the same season. And that school is Nebraska. He does put an asterisk at the bottom.
I saw this.
Yeah, that tournament specifically being the college basketball crown tournament. But technically, it counts.
Well, yeah. They're the only basketball team to also win the crown and the NIT, right?
Yeah, that's right. Take that. All right. We discussed this at one point in time, I think, right after basketball season ended. Would you rather next year Nebraska win the crown again, so back-to-back crown champs, or win the NIT? The NIT is almost an afterthought at this point. It was with all due respect, it was I called it the not interested tournament to begin with, but now it's almost like third place, I feel like, behind the crown and the actual NCAA tournament.
I would say so.
Would you rather they win the crown again and be back-to-back champs, or win one NCAA tournament game? Just one.
One NCAA tournament.
Yeah, me too.
1,000%. That's not even a question.
I remember we put it out to the listeners, as we always do. And I would say most people said a tournament game, but I was surprised at the amount of people that actually said another crown tournament. That surprised me.
Yeah, I guess I could see it. I don't know. Me personally, no. Give me the tournament. We're the only, I don't know what the official stat is, but we're like the only school that hasn't won one at that level.
Only Power 4 team.
That's what it is. Only Power 4 team that hasn't won an NCAA tournament. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That is crazy. When you think about some of the D1 Power 4 teams that are out there, they've all won at least one game. So I'd like to get that monkey off our back. We finally got the only Power 4 school who hasn't won a bowl game since whenever it was, 9 years ago. Finally got that monkey off our back. You know, beat Wisconsin, et cetera, et cetera. Got that monkey off. I'd like to get this monkey off our back as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So one final shout out. Probably knew this. If you didn't, Nebraska becomes the first team since Indiana, 2013 and 14, to win back-to-back Big Ten tournament championships. And I put this in my post on X and on Facebook. I think I mentioned it on TikTok as well. I'm on TikTok now, Jackson.
You're on TikTok. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah. If you're so inclined, you can follow me on any of the social medias. I will admit, though, my TikTok is actually the fastest growing one. I probably do the most there. I talk about the most random stuff. I'll just grab my phone and literally just talk about the most random stuff. Obviously, there's a lot of Nebraska stuff on there, but I'll talk NFL, NBA, how the 16-team college football playoff is really a 24-team college football playoff in disguise. Every once in a while, I've gone on a rant about things that happen at the house. You get the most random stuff on TikTok from me. So if you're so inclined, ladies and gentlemen, go follow me on the Talk of TikTok. Have a lot of fun there. But
there we go.
I mentioned this in my post on all the social media platforms after Nebraska's game, after their win on Sunday. And I'm sitting here and I'm looking at a picture of Greg Sharp, and he's smiling.
Oh.
All right. The longtime voice of the Huskers, and just how happy this would have made him, the awesome impact that he had on football and baseball. It's interesting because if you're a pro wrestling fan, people will tell you the announcers have as much impact on anything when you're watching pro wrestling. Vince McMahon was constantly in the ear and sometimes yelling and screaming, a lot of times yelling and screaming at the announcer, because how they convey things is how people are going to see things. How you hear it becomes how you see it, how you think about it, how you envision it, and what you think of things going forward. You think of Greg Sharp being the longtime voice of the Huskers in football and baseball, and then he'd go around the state and do all these different awards banquets and just host a lot of things representing the University of Nebraska, and just how he was the voice of Nebraska football, baseball, and a lot of other things as well, and just the positive impact and the way he would convey things to our ears and how that would impact how we'd see and hear about things in such a great and positive manner. And I could not help but think about him after that championship win on Sunday, and how he has to be smiling wherever he is. I guarantee he's smiling right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, how do you not think about the voice, Greg Sharp? I know. I mean, I wasn't there at Charles Schwab Field, but I imagine you could probably feel a little bit of Greg Sharp that entire game.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, yeah.
There's no doubt about it. I also want to give a shout out. I mean, all Husker spring sports. All right. Sometimes we hone in on football, basketball, baseball, softball. Tennis had a great season. I know we've interviewed their head coach. I know he's been here several times. He's helping take the tennis program at Nebraska to another level, track and field. I've actually got, let me see, I got something here when it comes to track and field. They're looking to the NCAA West preliminary round. I'll chat about them in just a minute. But to all Husker sports, all Nebraska spring sports, it was funny. I've gotten used to it. At first, it used to really annoy me when people would comment on social media and they clearly don't pay attention to me all the time. Like, if you disagree, no problem. Proof, facts, and evidence. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I can live with it. Don't come at me with feelings and emotions. You will get no respect out of me. Proof, facts, and evidence. Okay. And if I'm right, cool. If I'm wrong, I got no problem opening up my ears, learning, growing, and getting better. But when people come at me with things that, like, you clearly just don't pay attention to me. You saw one thing somewhere one time and you had a predetermined idea in your mind, and you were more focused on getting your predetermined idea across than actually paying attention to what I've said over time. Somebody came at me on social media, it was like a month ago, and they just berated me for only talking about football and never talking about other Husker sports, and just berated me for it. And so I've learned to laugh. I used to, when I was a younger man and social media was just getting started, I used to get more upset. Now I laugh. And so I just simply said, it was something to the effect of, I have multiple shows, watch them all, because I talk about these things all the time. And like the amount of people that responded, like, yes, he talks about Husker sports in general as much as anybody out there. And honestly, I've been doing it since day one of this show. One of the things I love about this show is it's more often, it's longer form, and it gives me an opportunity to talk about more things. So immediately my first thing was, I want to talk about all Husker sports. So we tend to hone in on certain sports sometimes. We tend to hone in on a sport specifically if they're winning, which makes sense. But you want to show love to all sports no matter what. So give me a minute. We'll chat a little bit about track and field, but real quick, why don't we do it when we come back? I know we got a commercial break coming up. I want to give a shout out to Nebraska softball. Such a phenomenal season. And it was interesting. Some people were like, all they had to do was win one out of their two last games, and they would have been in the Women's College World Series. And they responded in ways that may be correct. But I'm just like, man, they had such a great year. And yes, to be so close and not be able to get into the actual Women's College World Series, literally one run away, how hard that must be for them. Put yourself in their shoes. Nobody wants it more than them. But when you look back at the season as a whole, such a phenomenal historical season. And we're going to chat about that right after this break.
Western Sand and Gravel is hiring for a variety of positions at their sand and gravel plants near Ashland. Apply today and receive a $2,500 hiring bonus. Available positions include plant operators, dredge operators, and shop service technicians. They offer great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, paid holidays, and paid time off. No matter your experience level, on-the-job training is available to help you build a rewarding career with Western Sand and Gravel. Start your career today. Visit westernsand.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a 4-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats like Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carriker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Call or text us at 402-464-5685 with questions, or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Registration goes through May 30th.
When you're outdoors beneath Nebraska skies, adventure comes in all sizes. From quick escapes and long weekends to true off-the-grid retreats. Paddle, hike, camp, explore. Whether you have a few hours or a few days, we'll guide you to a state park or recreation area that's a perfect fit. Start your next adventure today at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Radiology Group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. This week's special through May 27th is $1 off hamburger and hot dog buns, $1 off Plum Creek chicken wings, 15% off barbecue sauces, and 15% off burgers, hot dogs, and brats. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 160th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at lincolnstars.com today before it sells out.
Support Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach on Give to Lincoln Day. Your gift will be received by a portion of Lincoln Community Foundation's matching fund. Homelessness is a complex problem facing our community. By working together, we can find solutions. Your donation for Give to Lincoln Day moves us closer to ensuring that everyone in Lincoln has a safe place to sleep at night. Because of your generosity, hope lives here. Give anytime through May 29th at givetolincoln.com.
The end of the school year is drawing near, which means graduation parties are coming soon. Are you prepared for hosting? Führer's Cheese Spread is the dip that brings everyone together to celebrate graduations and the close to a great school year. And it goes well with crackers, meats, soups, and more. How could you consider throwing a party without it? Get to your local grocery store today and load up on Führer's Cheese Spread. No graduation party is complete without it.
Play ball! Haymarket Park is buzzing with excitement this summer. Grab your crew and get in on the fun. Be sure to catch all the daily specials and promotions this season, like Thirsty Thursday, Fireworks Friday, Souvenir Saturday, Family Fun Day Sunday, plus special events and discounts all summer long. Don't miss out on the action as the Lincoln Salt Dogs take on their biggest rivals and knock the ball out of the park. Visit saltdogs.com and see this week's promotions and grab your tickets.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. As always, check out all things The Ticket at theticketfm.com. Also on the social medias, Facebook, X, YouTube, anywhere you get your podcast platforms, Amazon Prime, Television, or simply turn your radio dial to 93.7. And once again, The Ticket on theticketfm.com. I do want to give a shout out. Nebraska softball, phenomenal season. They set records well over 100, easy for me to say, well over 100 home runs hit this year. I mean, they broke the single season Nebraska softball home run record like a month ago. All right, and Jordy Ball finishes the year, I believe, with 23 home runs. Ava Kuzak had 20-plus home runs, the first time that's ever happened in Nebraska softball history. They also run-ruled. More opponents won more games via run rule this year than any Nebraska softball team in history, and not surprisingly, set multiple attendance records as well. We're unable to get to the Women's College World Series this season, but man, took game 1 in Knoxville, and then games 2 and 3 were incredibly close. All right. A few inches was really the deciding factor in the number 19 Nebraska softball team's 1-0 loss to the number 7 Tennessee Volunteers in the championship game of the NCAA Super Regional on Sunday in Knoxville. All right. Ella Dodge knocked a solo home run in the bottom of the first. That hit the top of the outfield wall and ricocheted over the fence in center field. That was the only score of the day, deciding the game that sent the Vols to the Women's College World Series. The Huskers ended the season 43-15. That's a winning percentage of .741. Good for the team's best winning percentage since it went 44-12, which was a .785 winning percentage in 2006, so nearly 20 years. Nebraska and Tennessee split the 4 games between the teams this season as a whole. 3 in the postseason, 1 in the regular season. But the final 2 victories went to the Lady Vols, each by 1 run. So Nebraska won that first game of the 3-game set 5-2, lost the last 2 by a combined 2 runs. So they were really close games. It came down to the wire in a battle of first-team All-Americans. Jordy Ball, 26-8 on the season, ended up taking the loss in the circle for the Huskers despite pitching a complete game with only 1 run and 4 hits allowed. All right, Carlin Pickens, 24-9 on the season, picked up her second win of the weekend. Let's see. Ava Kuzak and Hannah Kemenzin notched the Big Reds' only 2 hits of the day. Let's see what else we got here. The Huskers move to 69-58 all-time in the NCAA tournament games and 3-5 in super regional matchups all-time as well. Nebraska notched its 8th top 10 finish in program history as it ended the season tied for 9th in the country. You look at Tennessee's pitcher, all right, Carlin Pickens. Did you see where she threw the fastest pitch ever?
Yeah, I think she broke her own record too with that.
So she threw a pitch last year that was slightly over 78 miles an hour. And it's funny. Oh, what was it? I forget how long ago, 10, 15 years. Somebody threw, I forget who it was, they threw a pitch 73 miles an hour. And at the time, it just like blew everyone's mind. You got to keep in mind, the softball mound, it's not a mound, but where they pitch from to home plate is not 60 feet, 6 inches like in baseball. It's much, much closer. I'm going to look up the exact distance here real quick. But when you have a ball coming 73 miles an hour, and then you break the record with 78 miles an hour, and then the same pitcher breaks her own record at 79.4 miles per hour. The hitter who happened to be Jordy Ball, legit had milliseconds to react, and she was able to foul off that pitch, which was incredibly impressive in her own right. But 79.4 miles per hour, the fastest pitch ever thrown. She goes out, she pitches great, wins 2 games over the weekend, pitches great on Sunday. Tennessee will be moving on to the Women's College World Series. But what thoughts you got on that there, Jackson?
I mean, it was a great performance, obviously, in that game 1 by Nebraska softball. They unfortunately just couldn't get the same level of offense in the next 2 games, but I'd be lying if I said they didn't perform pretty good defensively in those next 2 games. But unfortunately, they can't get it done. But a great season nonetheless. It was very awesome to see them in Tennessee contending with a top team in the country. But yeah, a great season for them. Absolutely.
So my oldest daughter pitched for a long time, and it's a very unique thing. It's kind of its own sport when you're learning how to pitch. You're not going to spend time at your softball practice really pitching very much. You'll pitch to live hitters in your warm up, but as far as actually practicing pitching, I've always said it's its own sport. I didn't realize when she was playing club softball and she was the ace pitcher on the team what all that entailed. In baseball, you're inherently kind of learning how to pitch, at least to a degree, especially when you're 8, 9, 10 years old, just by learning how to throw. Because at that age, they're not throwing a bunch of changeups and sliders and hopefully not a bunch of curveballs. You're really just trying to throw strikes. And then as you get older, you add those things in. So you have to specifically work on them. But at a young age, you don't ever do the underhanded pitching motion that you do in softball, I guess, unless you're bowling a ton. That'd really be it. But it's really not the same. It's just a similar motion, but it's not the same motion. So in order to learn how to pitch, you have to go get lessons from a specific pitching coach. So every softball practice you have to add on pitching lessons every week to that. In addition to, it's like it's its own sport, its own practice. And so it is 40 feet for youth softball. And so I remembered that from when she was pitching. All right, my daughter, but it is 43 feet in high school and college softball. So as opposed to 60 feet, 6 inches, it is 43 feet. So 17 and a half, whatever, 18, 16 feet closer. And that ball's coming basically 80 miles an hour, 79.4 miles per hour. And I don't know. What do you think's harder to hit? Like a 95 mile an hour fastball or 79 at 60 feet, 6 inches, or a 79.4 mile per hour softball being thrown at you from, 43 feet. And just for perspective, Jordy Ball fouled off a 79.4 mile per hour pitch from roughly, it says 37 feet here. That's a 0.318 seconds to react. React and swing. Decide if it's a ball or strike, react and swing and try to make contact. It's just borderline impossible, which is why her fouling it off is so impressive in its own right. But what do you think's harder there, Jackson, before we head to break?
You know, I've never played baseball or softball, but if I had to say, I'd probably say the softball, just based off of the fact that you have less reaction time and it being closer. I feel like that might be harder to hit.
Yeah, to be honest with you, there's more pitches than softball that pitchers will throw. Rise ball, drop ball, screwball, changeup. They hardly ever throw actual, just regular fastballs, just so most people know. All right, I'm going to throw it to you, my friend, and then we're going to hit break, and we'll come back for hour 2.
Yeah, before we go to break, registration for the first annual Nebraska Esports Program Golf Tournament fundraiser closes this Friday, May 30th. It's a 4-man scramble on Monday, June 9th at 11 a.m. at Wilderness Ridge. We still have room for whole sponsors and teams. Dinner will be served after the round with a silent auction as well and a lunch meal offered as well. Whole prizes and team prizes. Former Huskers will be on site, including Amon Green, Niles Paul, Frankie London, and your favorite ticket hosts. $140 per golfer, $560 per foursome. Sign up today at theticketfm.com or reach out to Jake at his email, Jake at theticketfm.com or Nick at theticketfm.com. All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. Hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show when we come back.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at lincolnstars.com today before it sells out.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks, and grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln. Attention all Wings fans, Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O or in Williamsburg Village.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
When you're outdoors beneath Nebraska skies, adventure comes in all sizes. From quick escapes and long weekends to true off-the-grid retreats. Paddle, hike, camp, explore. Whether you have a few hours or a few days, we'll guide you to a state park or recreation area that's a perfect fit. Start your next adventure today at yournebraskaparks.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Summertime is here. It's time to get to Brown's Shoe Fit for their May sandal sale. From now through May 31st, get $15 off all regular price sandals. Whether it's for hiking, or the lake, or just everyday sandals, Brown's has you covered. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your summer off right with the May sandal sale at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
On the Block with Eric Strickland, Jay Foreman, and Austin Orman.
The goal for those coming on the road, let's go get that first one. And then here's what'll happen. there'll be you'll kind of be lackadaisical. Instead of keeping that energy, why not too? Instead of keeping that energy, you'll probably see just a little bit more ease of play, because in the psyche, we did what we came to do.
Every weekday from 3 to 5 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is the Adam Carriker Show.
Position right of the quarterback, out of the shotgun, 1st and 20. Jailbreak screen in the air. It is tipped. It is intercepted by Carriker at the Missouri 21-yard line.
Live from the heart of Lincoln, America, 8-year NFL vet and All-American defensive lineman Adam Carriker.
Shotgun snap to Everett. He's got the left arm going, and now he's got a whole lot of Adam Carriker, who rips him down inside the 25-yard line.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Here is your host, Adam Carriker.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to Hour 2 of the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right, before we dive into Nebraska possibly being on the cover of a deluxe edition of the college football video game. Before we do that, all right, I do want to mention Nebraska's track and field. The Huskers look forward to the NCAA West preliminary round. Nebraska track and field will have 52 entries competing at the NCAA West preliminary round this week at E.B. Cushing Stadium in College Station in Texas. All right, athletes who rank among the top 48 in their respective events earn berths into the NCAA West preliminary round, as well as the 24 best relay teams, the top 12 competitors for each individual event, and top 12 teams for each relay event will advance to the NCAA Outdoor Championships hosted in Eugene, Oregon. The list of qualifiers from each event contested in the first rounds will be announced. All right, let's see, Sunday, June 1st. The final list of the championship competition participants will be announced by 2 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday, June 3rd. The 4-day regional event will have the men compete on Wednesday and Friday, while the women will compete on Thursday and Saturday. Did you ever do anything in track there, Jackson?
Not really. I mean, I've done like some fun little relays. I did the good old JRTC in high school. So we did some fun little relays at tracks when we did some competitions, but nothing too extreme, nothing like the cross countries and the actual track and field. But
random question that we'll connect here in a second. Do you believe everything you read online?
You know, sometimes it gets me. I'm not going to lie, especially with AI. I have seen some things online that I'm like, oh, that's real. And then my wonderful girlfriend's like, hey, Jackson, that's AI. What? Or like, that's not true. And I'm like, man, I fall for a lot of things. So I would say no, but also yes. Because I fall for a lot.
It's a very honest answer. No, but also yes. I love that's an incredibly honest answer right there. So this is even before AI. So my dad always wanted me to do discus and javelin and all this stuff in track. I was always busy playing baseball. I actually thought baseball is what I was going to do after high school until I tore my UCL. But for years, I think they finally changed this. For years, my Wikipedia page said that I was a long jump champion in high school, which was amazing to me because long jump was not even on my radar. And doesn't really fit my body type in any way, shape, or form either. It doesn't really make sense. And then somebody pointed out to me not long after I left Nebraska, they're like, have you looked at your Wikipedia page? And I was like, no. Why would I look at that? They go, did you box? I'm like, no, I never boxed. Did you box at Wesleyan? Like, what are you talking about? So I looked at my Wikipedia page, and that's when I noticed it said I was a long jump champion in high school. I've never done a day of track in my life. This is, And then it said, Adam Carriker boxed at Nebraska Wesleyan, along with playing football at the University of Nebraska. And that didn't even make sense to me. Like, this wasn't a transfer portal thing where, like, it said, I was at Nebraska and then I transferred to Wesleyan, or Wesleyan transferred to Nebraska. Like, it basically was saying I did 2 sports at 2 different schools on 2 completely different levels at the exact same time.
Yeah. What the heck?
So it never made sense to me. Never boxed at Wesleyan. Never did a day of track in my life. But I think they fixed it finally like years ago. But for the longest, I never changed it. I was like, whatever. I mean, it's positive, so I'm just going to leave it, whatever. I don't really care. I think they finally did change it years ago, but that kind of blew me away after I first left Nebraska that those things were even on there. But good luck to all the participants in the track and field, all the events, everything going forward. All right. A couple of final thoughts on baseball. So you look at the amount of NCAA tournament appearances that we've had. This will be our 19th NCAA tournament appearance. All right, when you look at regular conference regular season championships over the years, we've had 8. And this year was our 6th conference tournament championship. Now, we won 3 in a row, 99, 2000, 2001. Then we won it in 2005. And obviously last year, 2024, and this year, 2025. Chance for a three-peat again next year, I guess. That's not where I'm really going with this. We've appeared in 3 College World Series, 2001, 2002, 2005, and NCAA regional champions 4 times as well, 2000, 01, 02, and 05 as well. And this is via James Perch on Twitter. Again, it's not a rivalry unless you have some fun with it. James said, over the years, people have given Nebraska a hard time for having a mediocre baseball program on the whole. I would say we're above mediocre, but I digress. Yes. This is people who obviously are not Nebraska fans.
You don't win back-to-back Big Ten tournament championships be mediocre, but yeah, go on.
Yes, you are correct. This was more about poking fun at Iowa than I think anything else. Then he goes, there's Iowa. Iowa's only made it to the NCAA tournament 5 times in its entire program history. And then he goes, just thought you'd like to know that. Have a great day. And so that was kind of out of nowhere. Again, you just have a little bit of fun there with the old rivalry, so to speak. All right. Legendary Husker fan Jim Buchanan will be on the cover of the deluxe edition of College Football 2026 video game. Now, there's an iconic photo taken by Joe Mixon. Shout out to Joe, who's been a Nebraska sports photographer for decades. I mean, if some of the most iconic photos you've ever seen in Nebraska football, who, by the way, is a former Husker himself from the 80s, are taken by Joe. After the Orange Bowl, when they beat Tennessee, Jason Peters' arms around Tom Osborne, and Jason's got the big smile on his face. That's Joe Mixon. That's an iconic photo. He's taken others as well. He took the photo here of Jim Buchanan, and it's at Boulder. I recognize the entrance. Also, he's holding up a license plate that says "Beat CU," but I've seen this picture like a million times. I forget what exact year it was, mid to late 90s. But Nebraska players are running out from the locker room onto the field there at CU. He's got the fist in the air. He's got the license plate up in the air. The license plate says "Beat CU." All right, let me see. Oh, the headline of this was Husker fan and photographer reunite 23 years later to recreate the viral photo, and that's Joe Mixon, and that's Jim Buchanan. But as you proceed on, what you find is that Jim is going to be on a deluxe edition of the College Football 2026 video game, which, and they've got a picture out right now, deluxe edition College Football 2026, and they've got a bunch of the players from Ryan Williams at Alabama to Jeremiah Smith there at Ohio State, a bunch of other players, and they've got some fans and coaches like Kirby Smart's kind of off to the left there. You look in the upper left, there's Jim holding up the "Beat CU" sign from like 25, I don't know, whatever it is, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
If you zoom in, I mean, he's got like the biggest smile on his face. He's holding the license plate above his head. So Nebraska will be represented on the College Football 2026 video game. Is that pretty cool?
Oh, well, it popped up earlier when the cover got revealed. I was like, oh, Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams. And I kept going. And then the deluxe edition popped up. And I was like, all right, because this is where they usually put all the teams. This is what they did last year. Last year was just a flag of Nebraska in the background.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I did was go looking for Nebraska, and I was like scrolling through. I was like, I don't see anything. Where, like, how would you not put Nebraska on this cover? Like, I know, I get it. We're not, Georgia, but all of a sudden, I got it zoomed in. I'm scrolling through it, and I just pan over, and I just see a "Beat CU" license plate.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hold on, and I go back, and it says Nebraska, and all of a sudden, there he is. So good to see Nebraska included on the cover of the College Football video game with so many different teams, so many different people. Obviously, Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams being the 2 front cover athletes of this year's game. So cool to see.
When I saw that, I thought 2 things. I thought, number one, random. I did. I was like, random that you would pick.
That's totally fair. I just love that this "Beat CU." I think that's the best thing.
A Nebraska fan from a picture from like 25, 30 years, random, 30 years ago. Also, I was like, well, 3 things. Random, awesome, because I'm a Nebraska guy. And number 3, great business move. It's
sure.
The same reason national media types love to talk about Nebraska I diatribed, was it last week or the week? I think it was last week when the whole RE article went and, he took things out of context and took something that was meant to be a joke, and we know that whole thing. And I diatribed, like Nebraska's going to bring eyeballs, they're going to bring clicks. Right now, Matt Rule, he's a bit of an easy target simply because we need to win more, in general. He's willing to say things first before everyone else does it. Then all of a sudden, a lot of other people are canceling spring games and they're doing things and the like. And whether you like that or not, he was really the first one to go out and do it. He's willing to be open and honest a little bit more than most coaches are. Okay, it's just kind of his personality and how he is. But most of all, people know that Nebraska's fan base, look at the baseball, look at softball setting attendance records, look at Pinnacle Bank Arena on any given Nebraska basketball home game. Look at, obviously, we got the sellout streak, and Nebraska Husker Nation is strong. And it doesn't go unnoticed by people across the country. So anytime I think people, especially if Nebraska starts winning, people will immediately latch on to the Huskers. Okay. When we were doing good early on last year, man, the national media was boom. They were all over it. And then after the Indiana game, everyone disappeared. I thought that was interesting, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a business move. But it's a business move to include something like this, because I think you could put a guy like Dylan on there. They might catch some heat for that because, he hasn't done anything just yet to really be on there. You could say Matt Rule could go on there, but I think you'd get something similar from people across the nation. But when you get a fan holding a Beat CU sign, here's what you get. You get Nebraska fans, and then you get Colorado fans involved too. And anyone who doesn't like Deion or does like Deion, you're going to get their reaction as well. I thought it was a great business move all around. Anytime you can include Deion, anytime you can include Nebraska, and Colorado now is connected to Deion, so the license plate beats you, all of this. It was a great business move. It was random. And as a Nebraska person, I thought it was awesome because it's not a Colorado fan standing there saying beat Nebraska. So I also thought that was great too.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, if you don't include Nebraska, at least in some capacity on the cover of the game, people aren't going to buy it. That's just true. I personally would not be one of those people. I'd be like, whatever. But there are people out there that would not buy the game.
You really think that?
And they know that.
People would still buy it.
I'm not saying that like all Nebraska fans aren't going to buy it, but there will be people that are like, Nebraska's on the cover. I don't really want to buy it.
I think people are more likely to go out and specifically buy it if Nebraska's on it.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, that's more likely. But I do think there would be a not a big group, not a massive group, not the entire fan base, but there would be a group of people that would be like, I'm not buying the game because they didn't include Nebraska on the cover. And they do a pretty good job at encapsulating everything. Like, Colorado is technically included in that, even though it's kind of a little dig at them, but they're included in that in a sense. So
they could just did they put Deion on the? Let me look at this thing.
I don't know. I didn't look for Colorado.
No, there's no Deion.
They put Travis Hunter on it last year. I think that was enough.
I think that's the thing. It's their way of including Colorado without like being too in your face about it, doing a little too much.
The only guy that they could put on it that would make sense for this year would be Deion.
It'd be Deion.
They don't, because like last year, Shedeur would have made sense. Travis Hunter was on it, and that made perfect sense. The eventual Heisman winner. The only one that was on the cover last year out of the three cover athletes that really got drafted high, but Donovan Edwards didn't get drafted
at all.
Quinn Ewers went in the 7th round to the Dolphins. So.
Dude, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Quinn Ewers was the number one recruit in the entire country when he came out of high school. Went to Ohio State.
One of the highest rated quarterbacks ever, South Lake Carroll.
Yeah, signed the first, I think, $1 million NIL deal ever,
like
or it was the biggest at the time. Then comes back to Texas. Then he's obviously got Arch Manning breathing down his neck. You know, we kind of talked in the past about how had he stayed, well, not at Texas, but in college football, I think it was Arch Manning's time no matter what this year at Texas.
Sure.
But he passed up millions of dollars. And he won't make as much as a 7th round pick in the NFL, at least not throughout his first contract. And then Donovan Edwards.
I don't know what happened to him.
Man, I always thought he was a little bit better than Blake Corum, but he would never start over Blake Corum. But anytime Blake was out with an injury, Donovan would step in and do a great job.
He played really well against Ohio State one year, I believe. Like he had a great game against Ohio State.
Yeah, he went off in the 4th quarter. Then the national title game versus Washington, he had 2 long touchdown runs in the 1st quarter. I have not watched him enough specifically to offer an educated opinion on what happened there. My guess and estimation based on things I've seen in the past is consistency. Are you a good route runner? Can you catch the ball out of the backfield? Do you pick up blitzes on pass protection? will you run between the tackles just as hard as you run outside the tackles? If you're a running back at Michigan, you're running between the tackles. So I don't know if that was it. There's something that's just missing, though, because he never was truly the outright starter, barring Blake Corum's injury for a while. And then when Blake was gone, I'm like, all right, it's his time. I've always thought he was better than Blake, but clearly I'm missing something, and clearly I'm wrong because he didn't even start last year and then goes undrafted. But that's besides the point. Yeah, so you think about Ewers, 7th round. You think about Donovan Edwards not getting drafted at all. And then you think about, obviously, Travis Hunter doing Travis Hunter type things. So you look at this year, you got Ryan Williams of Alabama. You got Jeremiah Smith of Ohio State. And then and it's a brilliant move to incorporate a Nebraska fan, because that's like reaching directly out to your audience and your potential consumer.
The entire fan base feels included in that cover.
Saying, buy this to a perfect fan base. It's interesting because people love, outside Nebraska, they love to bash Nebraska. But everybody will still include Nebraska as one of the 8 blue blood programs in the country.
Yeah.
And I'm still convinced people are just waiting for Nebraska to win more often, and they will hop on the bandwagon quicker than a hiccup. But until then, it's easy to bash us, and that will flip quicker than a hiccup. And we saw it briefly last year after the Colorado game. Man, there was the beginnings of an igniting fire, and obviously it didn't last as long as we would have liked. But the national media, they're just waiting for Nebraska to win, and they will hop on. Because of the tradition, the prestige, the history, and the fan base.
That's why I respect Travis Hunter when he was on whatever live stream. And he was like, it was Nebraska. That was the toughest place we put. And he asked whatever his friend or whatever who was sitting there was like, not like, and he was like, no. It was Nebraska. Mm-hmm. The stadium was rocking. Like, he's just, talking about it. It's honesty. Because, he could have been like, oh, no, we didn't play it anywhere tough. Because that would be a response that would be like, okay, yeah, like whatever. You don't want to say you played in a very tough environment. He's like, no, it was Nebraska. Very well willing to admit. But then you kind of see both sides of that because, he's got his friend over there being like, Nebraska. Come on, Nebraska.
Well, there's just the perception of Nebraska. But the people who know the history know, I don't want to call us a sleeping giant. Okay, because when I think of that term sleeping giant, weird correlation. I think of when Pearl Harbor was bombed and then the Japanese were like, oh, we just woke up a sleeping giant. So it's a weird correlation. That's what pops into my head. But like, there have been sleeping giants and you just needed to prod them. And as soon as they were prodded, and obviously I'm talking about sports here, watch out. I don't know that we're a sleeping giant because we need more than just to be prodded.
It was like Clemson for a second. They were like whatever ranked, and then all of a sudden you flicked them in the college football playoff national championship.
Like Clemson is a team to watch out for this year. LSU as well. But not to get too far off topic, we need a little bit more than just prod. I think we've been prodded over the years, but I think those that understand college football and its history and honestly the business end and how to make money, they're just waiting. It's like, if can we just punch Nebraska in the gut and wake them up? Like, can we just get this giant to get rolling? Because they know what would happen nationally, engagement, people being interested if Nebraska starts winning just even remotely close to like we used to. And they're aware of that. Until then, we're easy to take pot shots at, honestly, which is kind of what happened last week, I felt, with Matt Rule. All right, a couple of other random bits of items here. The 7-on-7 Battle at the Boneyard, all right, June 6th. And Trey Taylor's going to be back for that, I understand, right?
Well, he's playing in a camp on June 1st, so I imagine he'll be in for a visit as well that weekend. Because June 1st is what? That I don't know what day. But yeah, he'll be there. He said his team was offered to play in it, but they opted out of it.
Is that what it is? Okay, because I know he's back in Lincoln June 1st and doing a lot of stuff.
I think he'll be there because that's going to be a great that's going to be a great time to scroll through social media. You're going to probably see pictures of Dylan, Trey, Emmett. They're all going to be out at a free event, by the way, at Memorial Stadium for anybody that's listening.
Absolutely. So let's see. Memorial Stadium Championship Showcase begins at 6:30 p.m. June 6th. Free admission, as Jackson just mentioned. Iowa State 4-star quarterback Jet Tamala will take an unofficial visit to Alabama next weekend. All right, so we'll see what happens down the road. He's getting more and more offers. And, obviously we've got our quarterback for that year. I'm still intrigued by things like this. He's a Nebraska kid. I'm always going to root for Nebraska people, and I'm just going to be intrigued to see how he does. But he'll be taking a visit to Alabama, unofficial, next weekend. And this was put out by Velocity Football Academy. because Elijah Pritchett has been working out there until the team officially comes back and starts doing their summer workouts together. They put out, excited to have Elijah Pritchett in working with us this week prior to heading back to Husker football workouts. And these are their words. Elijah is in great shape, carrying 325 pounds and looking lean. We're just looking to polish his skills while he's with us. And they got a photo of him. He's obviously doing some O-line drills, working on his craft, trying to get better. When you look at him physically, he's imposing. Physically, he's impressive. So we'll see if he, how he's able to put it all together. The expectation is that he earns the starting job and he starts at Nebraska most likely this fall, most likely at left tackle. So we'll see how he can put it together. It's crazy to me that when you look at how he was graded last season, and players can drastically improve from one year to the next, but that he already is, by some, projected to be a first-round pick next year.
Yeah, that's crazy. I hope it's not too much.
That's how highly thought of he is. That's crazy with his physical ability.
Yeah, physical. I mean, I think any guy that starts, he started 16? Is it 16 games?
I believe so.
For Alabama, any guy that could start 16 games at tackle for Alabama, I think they're up there in that conversation in terms of draft stock and whatnot. So
the other thing to keep in mind is he was an underclassman.
That's true, yeah.
So young players still learning, growing, developing, getting better. All right, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, there are official changes made to the college football playoff for this year. 2 years from now, whole bunch of speculation, certain things we expect. It appears to be too much to ask to get definitive plans for 2 years from now. But for a year from now, we know what to expect, and there's been very interesting reactions online. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks, and grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Hey guys, it's your girl Jordan from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Have an anniversary coming up? I've got you covered. Celebrate your love with the timeless elegance of jewelry. This anniversary, give the gift of sapphires, emeralds, rubies, or gold. Find the perfect piece that reflects the beauty and depth of your commitment. Whether it's your first anniversary or your 50th, surprise your loved one with a gem as beautiful and rare as she is. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
Summertime is here. It's time to get to Brown's Shoe Fit for their May sandal sale. From now through May 31st, get $15 off all regular price sandals. Whether it's for hiking, for the lake, or just everyday sandals, Brown's has you covered. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your summer off right with the May sandal sale at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers throughout the day with patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, cloudy skies and a high near 62. Tonight, mainly cloudy skies, calm winds, a low around 50. And tomorrow, a chance of showers throughout the day. Otherwise, mainly cloudy with a high near 70. I'm meteorologist after 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread's Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread's Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Let's talk about trading up. Not what you're thinking. You could never trade her in, but you can trade up her stone if you like. Signify the growth of your love, the challenges you have overcome, or any part of your love journey by trading up her diamond. Whether it's been 5 years, 25 years, or 50, say it with a bling. Big love, big bling. We got you. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Hello.
Angela, we have to break up.
But why?
Because you're a robot and I'm just a guy trying to get better internet.
It's Aloe Fiber, isn't it? I always knew you wanted faster speeds. My contract isn't good enough for you.
Face it, Angela. They let me talk to real people.
Press 4 to break my heart. Oh, wait, you already did.
Visit aloefiber.com to switch today.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. This is your daily friendly reminder about the Carriker Chronicles football camp, the inaugural one this summer, July 9th, here in good old Lincoln, Nebraska at the LYF Lincoln Youth Football Fields, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Learn more and to register at CarrikerChronicles.com. The campus for boys and girls, K through 8th grade. T-shirts included, autographs included. Go to CarrikerChronicles.com. The camp features Eric Crouch, Amon Green, Kenny Wilhite, Zach Wieger, and yours truly. Again, learn more and to register at CarrikerChronicles.com. And somebody sent in a comment. Eric Crouch was actually featured on a cover, right?
Yeah. Eric Crouch was on the cover of 2K3. I kind of forgot about that, but I think I knew that. Mr. Eric Crouch.
Yeah, I did. It escaped my memory bank as well. All right. We'll save that other read for the last segment there. But the college football playoffs pretty much been solidified. I think we discussed it last week as well. But again, we'll continue to pretend that there are 4 power conferences. All right. So the 4 power conference champs automatically get into the 12-team playoff. Again, this is for next year. There's a whole bunch of speculation and innuendo of what's going to happen 2 years from now. The odds are there's going to be play-in games. There's going to be 16 teams, at least 14, probably 16 teams, and things we've talked about in the past. Nothing's been solidified just yet. But as far as this year, we do have solidification and or finalization of the college football playoff. So Power 4 conference champs are in. Highest rated G5 champ, G5 team is into the 12-team college football playoff. From there, it does not really matter. Okay, it's purely based on your ranking. So the top 4 teams conceivably could be all Big Ten teams, the 1 through 4 seed. They could all be SEC teams. However unlikely it could be a Big 12 ACC team. So it doesn't matter. Once you're in, you're seeded based on your ranking. The team with the highest ranking is going to be seeded first, all the way down to the lowest seeded team based on the lowest ranking. So essentially, it's going to be 5 teams automatically get in. There's essentially 7 wild card or at-large teams, however you want to look at it. But once you're one of those 12 teams, your seeding is based on the ranking. And as we know in the future, well, before I go into that, I thought it was interesting. I actually saw a decent amount of people who were unhappy with this. I was surprised by it. I don't think they're the majority, but I think they were sitting there saying nothing and rooting against it. And then the instant that it happened, they were upset.
Yeah.
Look at what you've done to the SEC. Look at what you've done, or ACC. Look at what you've done to the Big 12. You're trying to keep the little guy out. Now it's going to be all about favoritism and bias and things of that nature. There's some validity to that. It's why I personally don't hate the 14-team playoff. The 1 and 2 seeds, be conference champs. They get a bye, and then everybody else, kind of the way that it is. But it was interesting because as we go along, they're just adding more and more teams. And it's a slippery slope. And it just seems to get deeper and more slippery the farther we go along. And the real online outcry that I saw was people don't like where the playoff is going. There's too many teams. There's too many play-in games. There's too many playoff games. There's too much this, too much that. Now, it depends on your perspective. If you're a college football coach, like, say, Matt Rule, of course, you want as many spots open as possible. You want it to be a 16-team playoff because it gives you more opportunities to get into the playoff. You take coaches out of the equation just from a fan perspective. People are not crazy about this because now it's not what they envisioned. I'll remember, and I probably should have been more vocal than I was, but inevitably every December, I would do a college football playoff show. And I would always talk about how you're going to water down the regular season. You're going to devalue conference championship games. It was usually one show a year. I probably should have talked about it more. But I've always said more sometimes become less because the more you have something, the less important each of it becomes. And sometimes less becomes more because the more rare it is, the more of each thing that you have, it becomes more valuable on an individual scale. And people would chime back, well, don't you just want more football? How can you argue against more football? Not what I was talking about. I was talking about what comes with that and the side effects that come with it. And the side effects that are coming is now they're trying to squeeze every drop and every dime and every penny out of every single angle that they can. Okay, the folks in charge of college football, I've said it before, they're not football purists. They're not football fans. They are money makers. And a lot of them are just flat out TV executives, if I'm being honest with you. And so they're trying to figure out how to make and maximize the most money. And so when we went to a 4-team playoff, people liked it. Most people, ever since I was a kid, have kind of advocated for that 8-team playoff. What's wrong with 8? What's wrong with 8? We kind of never got to see what that looked like. We jumped to 12. Now we're going to jump to 14 or 16 with all these playing games, so it's really a 24-team playoff. And now people are not happy with that. Now, I'm not saying everybody, to be clear, but in large part, the reaction I see online is kind of like, this is not what we envisioned. When we asked for more playoff games and we got on board with more playoff games, we were thinking 8 teams, maybe 12 teams would be the max. And I remember, and again, I should have talked about it more, so I can't sit here and act like I've been beating this dead horse repeatedly for years. Again, it was usually about one show a year after the college football playoff teams were put out into the universe. I'd do a reaction to that, and I'd kind of do a little bit of a reaction how I would do the playoffs, so to speak. And at some point, I still want to break it down more in depth this summer, probably sooner rather than later, maybe once the NBA playoffs are over. But I'm like, there's things that are going to come with that. It's kind of like you can't just take medicine without the side effects. And I'm like, the side effects is not going to stop here. They're just going to keep going. It's going to keep growing as far as the amount of teams in, the size of the playoff. And my ultimate fear, like, what is on the table that's proposed for 2 years from now? And I think is most likely going to happen is a 16-team playoff, all the play-in games, so it's really a 24-team playoff. I could actually live with that. It's way more than what I want. 8. I could live with that. My fear is it's not going to stop there. That is my fear. So people can poke at Matt Rule, 40-team playoff joke. How absurd would that be? Instantly, some of the things I saw was, let's go to a 64-team field and let's make it the NCAA tournament. And we discussed this last week.
Yep.
That's where I start to have a really hard time with things. Because like I said last week, if it's basically a 24-team playoff, relatively with all these play-in games and a 16-team playoff, I could live with that because at least you have to be ranked for the most part to get in. You start getting beyond ranked teams, you're going to start getting to teams that are barely 500 or barely over 500 and teams that aren't ranked. And that's where I start to have a hard time. And I think people can kind of now see, whoa, the slippery slope. Like I'll talk about there's a light at the end of the tunnel and there's a reason to be optimistic about college football in general because they're going to have to rein it in for the good of the sport because that's how they make money and they need the sport to be healthy so they can make money. And so there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I just don't know how long the tunnel is. The other way of looking at it when it comes to college football playoff is there is a slippery slope and it seems to be longer and slippery than most people imagined. And there is no end in sight right now. And we have no idea where it ends.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's such a weird thought to even think about. There's a chance that we're not too far off from seeing like a March Madness type of college football playoff, which is so far-fetched. What would happen? I don't think so. I don't think so. But the fact that like that's even a conversation that we're having that's not really that much of a joke with some people is an interesting thing. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's just a slope that we're just gonna keep going down until we reach a brick wall, probably. So
hopefully we don't hit it going full speed down that long slippery slope because that wouldn't be good. The thing I mentioned this last week, the thing that does give me hope that they'll keep it where it is, because at a certain point, if you expand the field too much, now you do have to diminish the regular season. And there are more regular season games every weekend than there are playoff games. Now, maybe you make more money per playoff game, but pure volume of regular season games, they're not going to get rid of those. There's no way they make more money in playoff games than they do pure volume of every team in the country playing on a regular season. No. That's the one thing that gives me hope is they're not going to want to dip into the regular season and cut that shorter.
I mean,
I'd be shocked.
Imagine not getting, because I'm pretty sure last year was one of the top performing games, like Nebraska versus Colorado, primetime NBC, out of the entire season, including the playoff, I believe was up there in terms of one of the top performing games. It might be top 10, could be higher, but I think it's up there at least. So if you get rid of that, it diminishes that.
Yes.
That old rivalry culture where it's just a rival, not at the end of the season, Michigan, Ohio State, just in the middle of the season at night, Memorial Stadium, crazy environment, crazy viewership. I don't know how you can get rid of that.
So there is one more angle that is being talked about now, 2 years from now. Again, we know what next year looks like. Power 4 champs in, highest rated G5 team, and then 7 at-large teams, and then you're going to be seeded based on your ranking, okay? So we know what that looks like. There is also discussion surrounding the Big Ten and SEC holding play-in games during conference championship weekends every year to determine the other auto bids. We've discussed that. This is 2 years and beyond I'm talking about. Essentially, the two teams who appear in the league title game would be 2 of the auto bids, with the conferences number 3 playing number 6, 4 playing number 5 to get in. The Big Ten, now when you come back to the number 1 and 2 seeds, just so there's no confusion, the Big Ten and SEC are also in favor of the idea of a double bye for the number 1 and number 2 seeds in the bracket, in the proposed 16-team bracket. Okay, the first round would consist of 2 games where the 16 seed plays the 13 seed and the 15 and 14 play. So the first round would be 1 through 12 get a bye, 13, 16 play, 14, 15 play, and then the next round, which would then be 14 teams left, the number 1 and 2 seeds like in a regular 14-team playoff, would get another bye while 3 through 14 play. Now, if I'm a 1 and 2 seed, I don't want 2 weeks off in a row.
Absolutely not.
That's too much time off. I think, yes, it's nice that we're automatically going to be moving on each round for the first 2 rounds. But at some point, we got to stay sharp, or when we do play, we're going to be behind the 8 ball. Also, why? Why do it this way? If you're going to go to 16, if you're going to do a bye for the 1 and 2 seed, go 14 teams. If you're going to do a 16-team playoff, why are you messing with the simplest format under God's hot sun? 1, 16, 2, 15, 3, 4. If you're going to do it, just do it. Don't take the simplest format there is and then make it unbelievably, ridiculously harder to follow, understand, and like, why not just pick 29 teams and then come up with some weird formula from there how to figure it out? If you're going to go 1 through 16, go 1 through 16. Mm-hmm. I just saw this morning, where if you go 16-team playoff, 13, 1 through 12 get a bye in the first round of the playoffs, 13, 16, 14, 15 play, and then the next round you're left with 14 teams, okay? 1 and 2 get a bye, and then 3 through 14 play, and then 1 and 2 are automatically into the third round of the playoffs, and I'm just like, why? No. I most of the stuff that's been thrown out, I'm not the biggest fan of, because it always seems to be about more money devaluing regular season, and it's not what I'm interested in. It's not why college football was 1 of 1. I look at this, and I absolutely hate it. I hate everything about it. Yeah. If I'm a 1 or 2 seed, I'm not happy.
No.
Why are we making a simple playoff format if that's what we're going for, incredibly convoluted? I hope they don't do this at all, but it is seriously being discussed.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
Yeah. You got any other thoughts?
No, that's pretty much it. That's wild that we've gotten to this point to where the college football playoff feels like a just continuously growing platform. So, yeah, it's a little scary to think about. So, yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
There are great Mexican restaurants all over town, but there is one that is especially worth the drive from any part of town. Tacos Los Hermanos at 70th and Havelock. Cool off this summer with a delicious horchata or other special drinks, and grab one of their famous taco boxes for a group of friends or coworkers to enjoy, full of birria tacos and many other options. Don't forget their great desserts like tres leches, flan, and cheesecake. Get to Tacos Los Hermanos for lunch or dinner today at 70th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Saturday. Eagle Raceway is open for a full season of dirt track racing action every Saturday night. Don't miss the epic battles on the high banks of Eagle Raceway each Saturday between the Nebraska Septic Sprint Cars, Nebraska Lottery Modifieds, Avid Realty Sport Mods, Valentino's Hobby Stocks, and A1 Iron Stock Cars. Let's go racing. Eagle Raceway, just 10 miles east of Lincoln on O Street. Check out the full schedule at eagleraceway.com.
Ever stare at the Hog Wild menu and feel like you just can't make up your mind because it all looks so good? Well, when I want a little bit of everything, I get a little bit of everything on Hog Wild's Smokestack Sandwich. On a butter-toasted bun, we pile on our hickory smoked beef brisket and juicy hot links. The hard part is choosing between fresh curly fries, classic baked beans, or coleslaw on the side. Order online at GoHogWild.com. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Hey guys, it's your girl Jordan from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Have an anniversary coming up? I've got you covered. Celebrate your love with the timeless elegance of jewelry. This anniversary, give the gift of sapphires, emeralds, rubies, or gold. Find the perfect piece that reflects the beauty and depth of your commitment. Whether it's your first anniversary or your 50th, Surprise your loved one with a gem as beautiful and rare as she is. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at cobblecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Summertime is here. It's time to get to Brown's Shoe Fit for their May sandal sale. From now through May 31st, get $15 off all regular price sandals. Whether it's for hiking, for the lake, or just everyday sandals, Brown's has you covered. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your summer off right with the May sandal sale at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see a chance of showers throughout the day with patchy fog this morning. Otherwise, cloudy skies and a high near 62. Tonight, the cloudy skies, calm winds, a low around 50. And tomorrow, a chance of showers throughout the day. Otherwise, mainly cloudy, a high near 70. A meteorologist for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Although we can't control the air we breathe outside our home, we can make a healthy difference inside, and all it takes is a call to Bryant. With healthy air options, Bryant can help you eliminate allergens, odors, and harmful chemicals, all while controlling indoor humidity levels at the same time. If it's time for a breath of fresh air inside, it's time to call Bryant. Breathe easy, breathe healthy. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Bryant, whatever it takes.
This is the Adam Carriker Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Boom! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Adam Carriker Show here on 93.7 The Ticket. All right. I think I asked you during the break. Is there anything from the text line? I don't remember. What'd you say?
We got somebody was asking about the event on June 6th. We can touch on that maybe a little bit. The free event at Memorial Stadium with some of the high school teams.
7-on-7 type event, June 6th.
Yep.
I forget what time it was. It was in the evening, free admission. You can check it out. They posted about it on social media, the Husker football, people who run those accounts and whatnot. All right, Jake, you want to give a shout out to that business real quick, and then we will chat a little bit of NBA playoffs as we close out the show.
Yeah, before we get back into it and wrap it up, just wanted to let you guys know, Give to Lincoln Day is this Thursday, May 29th. But you can donate now at givetolincolnday.com. Type in Matt Talbot in the search and choose your donation level. Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach's mission is to relieve hunger, overcome homelessness, address addiction, and provide outreach and advocacy in Lincoln. We'll be on location all day Thursday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Matt Talbot Kitchen and Outreach, just north of 27th and Holdridge. Feel free to stop by, make a donation, or do so online. If you donate, please text the text line at 402-464-5685, and we will gladly shout you out. If you stop by in person to donate, we'll have giveaways for College World Series tickets, Lincoln Salt Dogs tickets, restaurant gift certificates, and more, and they can give you a tour. GiveToLincolnDay.com, type in Matt Talbot, and donate today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, NBA playoffs. The Wolves are down. Timberwolves are down 3-1 to the Oklahoma City Thunder. Baseball and basketball are always, it happens in football too. They're always intriguing to me. Oh, man, there was a year where the Jets got blown out. Oh, like 45-3, excuse me, the regular season to the Patriots. They came back played them in the playoffs. This is like 10 years ago, and beat them in the playoffs. It was one of the years Mark Sanchez was the quarterback that made the AFC title game 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
So it happens in football sometimes, but not as much as basketball, baseball. Like I had, I think I've shared it before on the show, but I had a baseball expert one time be like, hey, in the majors, you're going to blow a team out a third of the time. You're going to get blown out a third of the time. It's that middle third that really determines what your final record is going to be and how good you are or not. Basketball, man, the Oklahoma City Thunder just mollywopped the Minnesota Timberwolves basically the first 2 games. In game 3, the Timberwolves come back and they win by, what was it, like 40, 45 points?
Yeah, 43, I think it was. So,
That's crazy to me. Now, game 4, I don't want to say the series is over. I mean, people come back from 3-1 deficits, 3-0 deficits, all right, as Jake Bakoven will happily tell you, Boston over the Yankees about 20 years ago to get their first World Series championship and, decades essentially. But the Wolves are down 3-1 to the Oklahoma City Thunder right now. They lost game 4 and they're going back to OKC. Do we get to a game 6 or does it get closed out here, Jackson?
I think it's getting closed out. I think it's wraps. OKC is going to punch their ticket to the NBA Finals, and then we'll see what happens in the next Pacers series. Game 4 of that is tonight. So
I really thought the way Minnesota was playing. I mean, their regular season, it was okay. They were a 6th seed coming into the playoffs, but man, they were 8-2 rolling into this Thunder series. But you see why Oklahoma City Thunder was the number 1 seed in the West. Again, they got to actually close it out and do the deed here, but it seems like Oklahoma City is going to punch their ticket to the finals. On the east side here, you got the Pacers, you got the Knicks. It's as east it can get in the NBA playoffs. Old Eastern Conference rivalry that goes back years and years. The Pacers, all right, let me see. They were up 2-0 in the series. The Knicks took game 3, 2-1. Game 4 tonight in Indiana. This is the pivotal game. Anytime you're down 1-0, you don't want to go down 2-0. Anytime, obviously, 2-0, you don't want to go down 3-0. But anytime it's 2-1, if you can even the series up, I don't want to say you're guaranteed a game 7, but man, you're guaranteed 2 more games. Like you go down 3-1, and it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, especially if they're any good at all, to be honest with you. So this is a pivotal game tonight for the Knicks. Who you got, Jackson?
Oh, man.
It's in Indiana. Does that help you at all?
Not really. I mean, the Knicks, both those teams have been playing well in anywhere but their home court.
Yep.
Because it's, Pacers take the first 2 in New York. New York takes game 1 in Indiana. So, or game 3, I guess. But the first game.
So take the Knicks then, because it's in Indiana.
I mean,
obviously the Knicks.
The pattern follows. It's the Knicks. And honestly, to keep things interesting, I want the Knicks.
I want the Knicks, yes.
I do want the Knicks. But man, I would not be surprised to see the Pacers go up 3-1 and honestly almost put a bow on this series. But I've said if the Pacers are going to win, it's going to be in 6. So that's where I'm at.
All right. I do like it in 6. I'm rooting for the Knicks because I want to go 2-2.
That's how I feel.
I don't have a vested interest in either one of these teams other than I grew up just watching the Knicks and Patrick Ewing, John Starks, etc. And then I actually rooted for the Pacers because I really liked Reggie Miller, Rick Smits, and all those guys. I've got the Pacers going up 3-1. I'm rooting for the Knicks, but I do think the Pacers.
Yeah, I know. I could totally see it
happening.
They're going to go 3-1. I could totally see it happening.
Pacers and Thunder in the finals, possibly. We'll see what happens.
Oh, I'd love that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a glorious Tuesday. Until Thursday, go Big Red Nose. Remember to throw the bones.